Good day, boys and girls. Wanted to show y'all something else that we really like to do with our microgreens. We've showed y'all quite a few things that we do with the microgreens in the past, and you can go and check those other videos out. There's all kinds of different stuff that you can do with the leftovers of these microgreens, from feeding chickens to improving soil to making compost, vermicompost, just all sorts of different things that you can do with your excess waste. You can even recycle it and use it again for microgreens, but there is a specific method for that. So I wouldn't just do it without knowing the method for sure, but subscribe to our channel if you want to know more about that stuff. This is another method that I really like. This is something we've been doing more recently, and I really like it. Now, of course, we have more micros than other people, so we get a chance to experiment with it a lot of different ways. But if you're using these microgreens for yourself, you're going to build up still, even if you're doing them for your own consumption. So what we're doing here is we're slowly building up a pile around our tree, and this kind of starts to build up your litter base, just your mulch, so to speak. Because you see, once it dries out, it's a lot lighter, and it goes, it's just more, it's not as dense. It's not as dense as it looks like it is when you first pile it on. Like when you first pile it on, it just seems like a lot, but then it starts to powder up and dry up some. One thing I do like about it over the coffee grounds is coffee grounds attract a lot of ants. So if you do a lot of coffee grounds, which I do like to do some coffee grounds, but if you do a lot, what you're going to need to do is come in and you'll have to buy a ant poison that is safe to put around fruit trees if you live in the South the way we do. Here in the South, we have so many ants that if you do that, you're just going to, some of your organic practices do attract quite a few ants, so that is something you will have to do. And the ants are coming in and they're actually eating the earthworms, and we just have an overabundance of ants. So that is something we do. But this works really well because it dries up a little bit better. So you do this in conjunction with, and you see there's ants right there coming in on me. You do it in conjunction with some coffee grounds, and then this right here. And then the coffee grounds acts as a fertilizer, and this right here acts as moisture retention. There's some fertility there. It really helps to feed the worms and the microbes, but it's just a really good thing all the way around. When you do this, you barely have to do any watering to your trees, if any. We do have one tree over here that died out of them. Sometimes that just happens when you plant trees. It's not all the way dead. It still may come back. But we're still going to do the same practice, because I'll end up planting another tree there if that one dies. So we're going to keep doing the same practice because that improves your soil in that area. And if you go on down, these are 3 cherry trees right here. And then these trees up here are 3 fig trees. We've got the same thing here. We got 1 fig tree is dead. That one died from the frost this year. This one got knocked way back from the frost this year, so you can't even hardly tell it's there. But if you look right here, there is still some life out on the side, so I'm probably going to stand that up and try to get it coming up straight. This one's growing the best, this one. So what we'll do is I'll harvest a rootstock from this tree, and I'll end up using it over there, since I know that this variety is the best for our land. I'll just put it over there, and then I'll still have 2 varieties because that's a different variety. That one's not as good, but it's okay. So you see how this is doing over here. This is the other thing that we really like to do. I've started doing this. I've started laying these sawmill planks, some of these junk planks. I'll lay them down on the ground right here, and I'll keep piling my mulch up. Now, each time I come and mulch, that's when I weed my tree, okay? Because it's just too much work to come in here all the time and keep everything weeded and like that. But like this, it's not that difficult. Every Saturday we get back, we've got all of our microgreens. We come and put the microgreens out, and then we weed the trees that it goes around. And it's sustainable. It's something you can handle and manage, So that's trees cleaned up, and it'll be good until the next go around. So now we've got these trees over here will be the next ones. One of the things that I really like about it is when we put out all of this stuff like this, we'll get edible crop that comes up with this. We get a lot of pak choi that comes up, and those are coming up from the seeds of your from your microgreens that you're putting out. So now you're getting an adult crop, these pak choi. One thing that pak choi is pak choi is good as a microgreen, but it's also good as an adult crop. Some microgreens are only good as the green itself. That's the best version. But some greens are good as both of them. And then this one right here, I believe that one is probably a radish of some kind. Yeah, I think that's a radish of some kind. So what I'll do is I'll end up harvesting some of these greens as we need them. So when I come in to do this bed, I'll weed all my junk out, take my good greens out, and now I'm constantly growing greens. You see over there, I've got some more greens growing over there. So we've always got some fresh greens growing, ready to go. This one right here will probably die, but it turned back into compost, and I'm fine with that because we've got way more than what we need. So that's just one method that we do. We like it a lot. I really suggest if you putting some kind of rubber or sawmilled lumber plank or something down around here, because that gives you a mow strip. It keeps you from ever having to weed eat. So what I can do, I haven't mowed yet. I need to come in and mow. You'd be able to get a better visual. But what I can do here is I'll just keep mowing, and I'll stick the edge of my riding mower right over top and mow right over top of that plank. And then I'll never have to weed eat anything, you know. And it doesn't look the absolute best. I could do a much better job of making it look cleaner, but it does a pretty darn good job. It looks plenty good, and the main thing is it takes care of it without me having to do extra work. Plus, it's just one more thing rotting and decomposing and feeding all of your microbes and earthworms and everything. So I really like that. That's working out pretty good. The other thing that you could do is you could get some kind of tire rubber. You could put that in there, like a large tire, like the wall of your tire. You could get, sometimes you can find rubber belts at, if you go online, there's certain things you can find, certain rubber belts and things like that for sale. You could use baler belt. You could absolutely do that. Put that around there. It wouldn't be quite as wide, but you could absolutely make that work, like old junk baler belt. So that's one good thing that you could definitely do. But this is just something else that you can do with these microbes. With these microgreen leftovers. They work pretty good. And we have a lot of trees. We've got a lot of trees on the farm. We've got trees. Shoot, I don't know. We've got 40 or so or more trees. And I say a lot, I mean a lot for a homestead. So we got 40 or so trees, so it's a lot to keep up with. Somebody that's just got a handful of trees, they're not going to have as much to put microgreens on. They're also going to have less microgreens. But the point is it may balance out. So don't let it discourage you that we have a lot of microgreens and you'll never make it work. You're still going to get something. So that's just one more good thing you can do with your microgreens.